Slavery has been a prevalent practice throughout history, and its nature and implementation have varied in different parts of the world. The traditions and practices of slavery have evolved over time, and the variations in these practices have been influenced by cultural, economic, and political factors. Understanding these variations is crucial in comprehending the diverse and complex nature of slavery. Slavery has taken on various forms, from chattel slavery in the Americas to debt bondage in Asia and indentured servitude in Europe. Cultural attitudes towards slavery have also played a significant role in shaping its nature, with some societies viewing slavery as an integral part of their social structure, while others viewed it as a means of exploitation. Economic factors such as labor demands and the availability of free labor have also impacted the practice of slavery, leading to different systems of exploitation depending on the region. Additionally, political factors, such as the presence of strong central governments or the lack thereof, have influenced the enforcement and regulation of slavery. By examining the multifaceted causes and manifestations of slavery, it becomes evident that this institution has had a complex and varied impact on different societies throughout history. Different forms of slavery in ancient societies. Slavery in ancient societies took on various forms, often depending on the economic structure and cultural norms of the civilizations. In ancient Mesopotamia, for example, slavery was a common institution, and slaves were often prisoners of war, criminals, or individuals who had to sell themselves into slavery to settle debts. These slaves could sometimes acquire property and even buy their freedom. The rights of slaves in ancient Mesopotamia reflected a more nuanced approach compared to ancient Greece, where many slaves were foreigners captured in wars or obtained through piracy. These individuals were treated as the property of their owners and had very few rights, often used for labor in mines or domestic service. The distinction between the treatment of slaves in these two ancient societies highlights the varied nature of slavery practices. Moreover, the contrasting origins of the slaves, whether they were prisoners of war, criminals, individuals in debt, or foreigners captured in conflicts, further emphasize the complexity and diversity of the institution of slavery in different societies. Diverse systems of slavery in the Americas. The practices of slavery in the Americas also varied widely. In the Caribbean, sugar plantations heavily relied on African slave labor. The conditions for these slaves were notoriously brutal, and the mortality rate among them was staggeringly high due to the harsh working conditions, exposure to diseases, and inadequate nutrition. In contrast, in the southern United States, particularly in states like Virginia, the system of slavery initially allowed some degree of autonomy for slaves in their personal lives and economic activities. This system, known as the task system, assigned slaves specific tasks to complete each day and allowed them free time once the tasks were done, providing some flexibility in their daily routines. However, as the demand for cotton grew, the plantation system expanded, and the nature of slavery became increasingly harsh and dehumanizing. The shift to cotton cultivation led to longer and more grueling working hours, increased surveillance, and a greater emphasis on discipline and control. This shift in the nature of slavery in the southern United States underscores the transformation of the institution in response to economic forces and reflects the diverse systems of slavery that existed within the Americas. Distinct structure of slavery in the Roman Empire. Slavery in the Roman Empire had its own unique characteristics. Roman slaves were considered property and had no legal personhood. However, they could earn or purchase their freedom, and some were highly educated and skilled, working in roles such as teachers, accountants, or physicians. Additionally, the Roman institution of slavery was not based on race, and slaves could be of diverse ethnicities. The Roman state also had laws to protect slaves from excessive abuse, although these laws were not always effectively enforced. Unlike in some other ancient societies, the concept of slavery in Rome was not primarily based on war captives or debt settlement. Rather, individuals could become slaves due to various reasons, such as being born into slavery, being sold by their parents, or being captured during military campaigns. Moreover, slaves in Rome constituted a significant portion of the population, and their labor was crucial for the functioning of the economy and the households of the elite. The Roman practice of slavery also included a wide range of occupations, from skilled and educated roles to manual labor, reflecting the diverse and complex nature of the Roman economy and society. Additionally, the treatment of slaves varied based on their roles and the preferences of their owners, leading to a complex and multifaceted system of slavery within the Roman Empire. Variability of slavery practices in different contexts. The practices of slavery varied significantly across different societies and time periods, revealing the complexities of this historical phenomenon. In ancient societies, such as Mesopotamia and ancient Greece, the origins of slaves varied, with some being prisoners of war, criminals, debtors, or foreigners captured in conflicts. This diversity of origins highlighted the multifaceted and complex nature of slavery practices in these civilizations. Furthermore, the treatment of slaves also differed, with varying degrees of rights and autonomy depending on the society. Moving to the Americas, the system of slavery in the Caribbean differed from that in the southern United States, showcasing the wide-ranging nature of slavery practices even within the same geographical region. For example, in the Caribbean, African slaves endured brutal conditions on sugar plantations, while in the southern United States, the task system initially provided some autonomy for slaves before evolving into a more rigid and dehumanizing regime with the expansion of the cotton industry. Even within the Roman Empire, slavery had its own distinct characteristics, with slaves being considered property, yet having the opportunity to earn or purchase their freedom. The diversity of slavery practices across different societies and time periods underscores the influence of economic, social, legal, and cultural factors, elucidating the multifaceted nature of this historical institution. Conclusion. In conclusion, the institution of slavery has exhibited a remarkable degree of variability across different historical contexts, underscoring its diverse and complex nature. From the varied forms of slavery in ancient civilizations to the distinct systems of slavery in the Americas and the Roman Empire, the practice of slavery has taken on unique characteristics, shaped by cultural, economic, and social factors. By exploring these variations, we gain a deeper understanding of the multifaceted nature of slavery. For example, in the Americas, the conditions for slaves in the Caribbean differed significantly from those in the southern United States. The hardship endured by African slaves on sugar plantations contrasted with the initial autonomy provided by the task system in the southern states, reflecting the wide-ranging nature of slavery practices even within the same geographical region. Similarly, the distinct characteristics of slavery in the Roman Empire, where slaves had the opportunity to earn or purchase their freedom, further emphasize the intricate and diverse manifestations of slavery. These examples highlight the influence of economic demands, social structures, and legal frameworks on the nature of slavery, ultimately illustrating its complex and varied impact on different societies throughout history.